Good morning. I am happy that so many of you could join us this morning. Today, as many know in our community and in the nation, we were really and are an office that is in crisis, much like offices across the country. When I inherited this office, we faced an historic backlog. That backlog was created by two different matters. One was something that the entire country was suffering, which is COVID. As a result of COVID, cases were not indicted in this county for a year. And as a result of that, a backlog was created. I've made no secret about the fact that I also inherited an office with a historic backlog due to mismanagement, putting us in a situation where we inherited over 11,000 unindicted cases. Now, the bad news, as I stand here today, due to the rising crime and because of what we inherited, we still have around 11,000 cases. But what really brought us to the tip of the iceberg was the fact that by right and by law, a 90-day rule went into effect where defendants would be guaranteed a bond no matter their criminal history, no matter what they were charged with, just based on a timeline. Today I stand here very proud because me, along with a team of dedicated lawyers and dedicated investigators, have been able to avoid one of the most severe crises that has ever hit my county and our community. Today, what I can announce to you is that by way of example, in 2019, over a 12-month period, 156 defendants were indicted for the crime of murder. Due to the team that stands behind me now, this year alone, in 7 months, because that's how long we've had to run grand jury, we have already indicted 193 murder defendants. We will exceed 300 this year. That is because people have put their personal lives on hold, they have worked weekends, they have worked nights, and they have gotten it done. They have made sure that the most vile sexual offenders were indicted and charged. Our crisis is by no means over. We understand that other deadlines are coming, that we will continue to dedicate tireless hours, but there are people that I would like to thank today. I want to thank the 7 members of the county commission who voted to give us the resources, $5 million that we need to bring on 55 team members so that we could avoid future crises. I want to thank the families of the men and women who stand behind me, who had to go without their spouses home for many, many months. I want to thank the community for believing in this office and supporting us with nice letters, with phone calls, with even agreements to do volunteer hours. And today, I want to mainly thank my staff for believing in this mission and understanding that whatever you needed in your personal life was not as important as what this community needed. And so today I am happy to announce not one individual in Fulton County will be released charged with the crime of homicide because a lawyer or an investigator failed to work up the case and failed to get it indicted timely. Nor will one get released for a sexual offense. Nor will our defendants with the most vile criminal histories. But make no mistake about it, our work is just beginning. Thank you. Are there any questions?
How many remaining unindicted homicide suspects, murder suspects are there in Fulton County?
Right now, there are, within the Fulton County Jail, there are probably about another 40 or 50 unindicted murder defendants. However, they have not yet hit the unindicted clock. There's at least another in excess of 100 that are out already on bond. Some of them long predate my administration where decisions need to be made.
100 murder suspects are currently out on bond?
Yeah, absolutely. Historically going back many, many years.
And those are,
And I would actually, I know that number is in excess of 200.
and they have been indicted.
No, what you asked me was unindicted, and so I'm only answering the question of unindicted.
How do you feel, Madam DA?
Tired. tired and a little bit relieved.
Now, for the viewers at home who don't quite understand the process, how is this going to affect them in their day-to-day lives with this progress?
Well, the reality is, as a young prosecutor, I believe that maybe when someone killed someone or did something violent, it was an aberration in their conduct. After 25 years in this business, what I have learned is that often people that offend reoffend. What this staff and their efforts has done is made sure that these defendants will not be out to reoffend. And so it won't be what happens, it will be what doesn't happen.
Up until now, how much danger was the community in?
We're in a crime rise, and there's no denying that, and crime is on the rise. And so I make no secret about it that I feel like all of us are in a little bit of danger. We need to be very vigilant in the way that we move. There is something ugly going on in society. But what we were facing is some very, very dangerous individuals being released. I'm not going to tell you that the last 3 months have been pleasant for my office. Some of them have probably said things not very nice about their boss. But at the end of the day, they dug in and they got it done, and they have kept society safer.
You talk about the county commission's investment. Can you talk about how that investment helped your office and how it will help moving forward?
Absolutely. The county commission has invested $5 million next year and a $700,000 investment this year. That investment brings 55 employees to this office. That is 15 investigators, 15 lawyers. These lawyers and investigators are higher tier lawyers and investigators that will be assigned to investigate and prosecute some of the most serious cases. I need your viewers to understand, I just poured 193 defendants into our court system charged with murder. Even more when you start talking about sexual offenses. Every single one of those cases, we're at the beginning. We're not at the end. They all have to be, motions have to be gone through. Those cases have to be litigated. Those are lives. I don't deal in library books or widgets. In 193 defendants, we're talking probably at about 165 lives lost within my community, and those families have to be represented. So that investment is huge.
What's been the reaction from some of these victims' families?
Oh my God. The hardest part of my job is obviously I'm an office of 25,000 cases. I don't get an opportunity to meet with every victim, but I meet with a lot of my homicide victims' families. And they're broken. I've lost someone to homicide. I don't know if you ever have. It is not a wound that I can heal, but they are relieved. But I listened to horrible stories. I met with a mother last week that her son was killed a week before graduation, and she buried him in his cap and gown. Like, this is not make-believe. This is reality. People are losing their most precious commodity, their children, and the investment that we requested from the county commission was one that was needed. I am glad that they saw that it was needed, and I am hiring dedicated people that understand I will snatch your weekend from you and your night, but we will get this work done. That is since March the 1st. As you know, we did not have a grand jury running January and February because I needed my staff to be trained and understand the way that we do business, which is that you prepare a case before you charge it. There was no grand juries last year, as you're aware, due to the pandemic. We picked up on March the 1st. In 7 months, we have indicted 193 defendants for the crime of murder.
And I know you were under a deadline yesterday. Can you talk about that last-minute push and how many cases were indicted just yesterday?
Just yesterday, we indicted 66 cases, and at least a third of those were homicide.
And what will the rate be moving forward?
I don't know if you're aware, but we are running 2 grand juries for the first time in Fulton County's history. Grand jury used to only run 2 days a week, which was Tuesday and Friday. We now run grand juries Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. We're taking Wednesdays off because that allows the entire court system to run more efficiently, the clerk to catch up, my lawyers to catch up, etc. And the push will be, especially once we get these extra staff members on, that we are going to get to a level where we're indicting no less than 200 cases per week. We are months out from that at this point, but that is the push. That is the only way that we can catch up. What you have to keep in mind is it's an evaluation of cases. Not every case we receive we will charge, But every case will go through an analysis. Every case will be evaluated. Some of those defendants and people charged, we will decide that they should never have been charged. They should never have been arrested, and they will be cleared from their charges. Other, we will decide a more appropriate remedy is that they go to a diversion program. And others, we will decide we need more evidence. We will go get that evidence, and we will bring appropriate charges.
Has Fulton County ever done anything like this in history?
No.
You've obviously made a lot of recent hires. Do you have plans to continue making hires? Are you where you want to be?
Oh, no, I am hiring every day. I interview between now and November the 15th. I will do 8-hour days where I will interview no less than 30 people. I plan between now and the end of the year to bring 75 more strong to the staff.
And what are we at now, your staff?
With my staff, we're over 250. We'll be at about 325 when I'm done.
Have you been able to make any of the new hires yet?
Oh, absolutely. To this staff, standing here with me with 136 new employees. I gave a lot of people new opportunities at the beginning of the year. Some of y'all criticized me for it.
Obviously, a lot of public attention yesterday to what happened with R. Kelly in New York. Any chance that your office will be looking at Mr. Kelly now?
I'm certain that the office will look at the allegations, but we do not have an active, open investigation.
Can you tell us about the investigation into the former President Trump? How many lawyers might have been allocated for that? What kind of budget, what kind of timeline, if any, are you working with?
I know that that is the hot topic of the day. What I can tell you is there is an active, ongoing investigation. As I have told people, even when you are in a crime crisis, I do not have the right as district attorney to look the other way on any crime that may have happened in my jurisdiction. And certainly if someone did something as serious as interfere with people's right to vote, which you know as a woman and a person of color is a sacred right where people lost a lot of lives. We are going to invest in that. But my first priority as district attorney is to make sure that this community is safe. That is why I have pulled the men and women who are standing behind me to focus on that first priority. As far as a timeline, obviously the statute of limitations always gives you a 4-year timeline, but we're going to do it until it's done, until I'm comfortable. And should the facts and the law match up to a charge, the community should feel confident that this office will bring charges. Well, thank you for your time.